On today's episode of Beauty Behind the Brand, we are doing a solo episode with myself, Nicole Manion, talking about building a loyalty customer base. This is something that your business is going to thrive on, keeping those customers you already have, and why it's actually harder to create new customers than keeping your existing customers. So let's dive into this episode. Lots of takeaways. Grab a paper and pen because you're going to need it. So diving right into the first question, can you briefly explain why building a loyalty customer base is important for your business in today's competitive market? This is kind of a loaded question to start off with, but I'm going to do my best to briefly explain why it's important for businesses today to be in a competitive market. It is one of those things you're going to have to look at your location, surrounding spas and salons in your area, up and coming trends that are also happening, as well as listening to your clients and what they're needing in their beauty routines, retail services, etc. And also just sitting down and having real conversations with your clients as well as your staff. But within the competitive market, you're going to want to make sure you're kind of bringing in something within your niche. A couple episodes back, we talked about niching down in your market, and that is what's going to give you that competitive edge. What's making you different? What is giving your clients that VIP feeling that's going to make them want to come back more? Whether you have a membership loyalty program, a referral program, discounts and services, or something that just makes them feel luxury when they're there, and you're the expert in that field, and why it keeps coming to mind why they need to rebook with you, and also just giving them that experience and that feel good vibe when they're in your location. Energy is a massive thing that I hear a lot about our customers. They love the energy of our establishment, our spa, and just how good they feel when they come in and get pampered, and when they leave, they just feel refreshed. So really making sure that you're niching down in your market to give yourself that competitive edge, making things accessible for clients, whether that's parking, online booking systems. You're actually reachable to book appointments. That's another great feedback we get a lot, that we are on the phone constantly calling clients back, rebooking. Even our social media, I'm on there all the time, making sure I'm posting, and also communication and showing my face on social as well. And making sure you're giving clients enough education about yourself as the business owner, some of your staff. We've started doing that as well. So when clients come in, they know who they're booked with, not just the name, but they actually know who they're booked in when they see that service. Those are just some brief ideas that come to mind when I think of our brick and mortar location, which gives us that competitive edge in the market. And even like we have an open house coming up this following week, and it's going to be one of those things of client appreciation to show our clients how much we value them, their support year after year, and making sure that they know that they're seen and heard by our staff as well as myself as a business owner. What are some effective strategies on techniques in your business can be used to cultivate strong relationships with your customers? To be honest, I feel like just being real with them, not having kind of that fake customer service feel, having kind of that customer service voice and sounding completely different, just making sure you're yourself. They're going to value that more than you coming in as like this fake esthetician or fake hairstylist, making sure you're the real authentic you when you're in your space as well as outside of your space if they see you locally as well. Building strong relationships also comes to mind is listening to your clients' needs and making sure that you sincerely listen to them instead of just constantly giving them information about what's going on at the spa. Ask them, what are some of the specials you'd like us to have here? What are some of the packages that would be of value to you in your beauty routine? Or what are some of the products that you could really use in the summer months? What are something that we're lacking in our space that we could actually bring forward to benefit ourselves and as a business, but also benefit you as a client? Suggestion boxes, we personally haven't done that. I feel like just because we are very open in our communication style, but a suggestion box I feel like is very key when maybe starting a business, as well as going through maybe some changes, staff changes, or having maybe business owner changes. I think that would be a great way of keeping it anonymous, but also keeping it on par with your vision and moving forward for what's best with your customers. Let's be real here. If you don't have customers, you're not going to have a business either. So making sure you're keeping those current customers happy and they're not just a number to you, that they're real human beings and you're wanting to do what's best for them. Also, with having a strong relationship with their customers, you're going to want to make sure you're touching base with them, maybe with a follow-up. Even newsletters, I find we've had a lot of positive feedback with that. Not all of our customers have social media. So even having an email, or after even a service, we've had it where we've emailed them or called them or texted them after to see sincerely how they've enjoyed their treatment with us, as well as customer reviews too. That's something else that I can't stress enough about, is making sure that your customers are giving you those honest reviews to make you a better business, as well as your Google My Business too, for reoccurring clients coming back and or clients looking for you in your area. Next question would be, how does providing excellent customer service contribute to building a loyalty customer base? So providing excellent customer service is key. Being understanding, being a person instead of like a business robot or an esthetician robot, I feel like is really important. We have customers, like we have a very strict cancellation policy just because we are so busy, and if we don't have a customer in our chair, basically the business isn't making money, or if someone doesn't show up, I'm still having to pay staff. So it is, as you know, as a business owner and or an esthetician in this field, things happen to us, like last minute cancellations, or things change, or we need to cancel on clients because there might be a death in the family, or our kids are sick, or something has happened. So being understanding, if it's out of character for that client who needs to cancel, just let them know. We usually do charge a cancellation policy, but you're a great client, we're going to let it go this time. But just letting you know, like, we're thinking about you, hope all goes well, and we'll see you on your next visit. So being a real person, I think, also gives customers that feel good when they're coming to a small business, that they wouldn't get at like a big corporate spa and or like a resort or something like that. Making sure that you're your real authentic person and building that loyalty customer base. Referrals are so important as your advertisement and word of mouth. We started, I think it was the first 6 months, it was just myself at our spa, and that was my biggest thing, was quality over quantity, and making sure we were giving our best quality service as possible. But then the referrals started coming in, and we started getting busier, needing to hire more staff. And it was one of those things that customers came to us. We didn't need to advertise because we were getting the customers coming to us. So as long as you're giving good value, good quality service, that energy, customers will come your way, as well as loyal customers, and building that base that you need to thrive and grow your business. I always say to the girls too, educating your clients. So whether they're in for a treatment and or a manicure pedicure, educating them on how maybe you would recommend a certain foot salve in order to help with their cracked feet, or they're coming in for dermaplaning but they're not wearing an SPF. What would be things you would suggest to them? We always need to remember that we are the experts and they're coming to us for advice, or they're coming to us for a service. So we need to make sure that we're giving those customers our loyal opinion moving forward, and what would be best for them and their quality of their skin or their feet, or maybe their hair if they're needing a hair mask done as well. So being honest with your customers. We've even had it as well with our nurse injector, where she is actually said to someone, I think we need to dissolve some of this filler, restart in the next couple weeks, because she's not pushing dollar signs on top of our client or units. Same with us with maybe lash extensions or something where we're like, oh, you would just need a mini fill instead of a full lash fill. Clients are going to appreciate that too, that you're not taking money from them that isn't deserving and or needed. Same with clients come in for a skin consultation. They might think, oh, I need this, this, and this, and this. Sometimes I just start them off with a simple skin regime at home, as well as a basic facial to get them started. And then we'll start building upon that. And being honest with them, like these products, you might, because they're so active, you might have reaction to what you're using at home. We want to make sure we're slowly transitioning you into a professional line, as well as financially. It is an investment, but we want to make sure that we're doing this appropriately for your skin and both yourself. So having those honest conversations with them about how our businesses run. And I think that's how you will help build loyalty customer base. And then they will also go tell their friends. as well. For those who have been listening, you know I'm a massive fan of Squarespace, and I don't really know what I would do without them. With both our brick and mortar store as well as our e-commerce, I can do everything in one place. Whether it's e-commerce, I can do inventory, email campaigns, appointments, and so much more. Now, Beauty Behind the Brand has partnered up with Squarespace to offer you 10% off your first subscription. All you need is promo code PARTNER10. What role does personalization play in fostering customer loyalty, and how can businesses effectively personalize their interaction with customers? That's a great question. I feel like that follows right from like when they're on your landing page of your website to social media, as well as being in your actual establishment. I always say try to be as transparent from where you're online as well as in person. Make sure they're not getting two totally different environments, two totally different people, as well as just that feel and energy. Be really personalized to you. On a last episode, I talked about this of actually not following a lot of other spa pages within our area or existing spas, just like somewhat close into our geographic location, because I don't want to feel influenced by them or things that they may have or may not have. Obviously, I'm doing my research when bringing in machines or services. I do want to make sure that we're not overlapping or there's like a competitive market. But it's one of those things is personalizing it to yourself and what kind of vibe you want at the spa or salon, and making sure that even your team is on course with that too, knowing what your vision is for the business, making sure that they see what the vision is, and the energy that you bring to your clients every day, and they're transparent with you on that as well. Building and fostering the customer loyalty, I feel like you can't please everyone. This is something too that as you're in this industry longer and longer, you will realize that there's good days and bad days. People will come in who've had a terrible day. They're coming into your spa. They're going to unload everything on you. You're basically a therapist at the end of the day without getting paid for it. But that is kind of what we're in this industry for. But I think for a lot of us are people pleasers, and we just need to let the water roll off our backs and just make sure that we're there for them as even just a listening ear, trying not to absorb that energy, but making sure that it's really important that things are good, that you're going to try to give them that positive feedback as well, and just make sure that you're being loyal and transparent with them, but really making sure you're personalizing that interaction with them, whether you write a note in their file saying, like remembering about a trip they were leaving on with friends and family, or even the color that they last had on. I'm really bizarre in that way, how I remember random facts about people that I haven't seen in like over a couple years, or just people's names, that kind of thing. But I feel like I almost trained myself that way when I had a select clientele. And that's why I say to my staff, it's always important to write client notes. They're seeing a lot of clients in a day, and your client is sincerely going to remember that you remembered this particular thing that happened in their life, or they might have just had a grandchild, asking them how things are going, how their trip was. So making sure that you're giving them that personalization, and even just remembering their name, repeating their name is so important. And that will also help you remember their name if you see them out and about in town, and or just on the spot while a client comes in without that booking system in front of you. Could you share some examples of successful loyalty programs or innovative ways that helped your business retain customers and encourage them coming back? Absolutely. So after COVID, or the pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, it was one of those things where we were really slow. We had never experienced this. I had quite a bit of new staff coming in too who weren't local to the area, so they didn't have clientele. And clients were just a little hesitant to coming in and also coming back into the real world. No one really had events going on to actually bother getting pampered. So we started this loyalty program. It was good and it was bad at the same time. So we did loyalty cards where there was 5 stamps you needed, or technically 4 stamps. And on the 5th stamp, you got a discount. We were pretty hefty in our discount. We did 50% off. And then clients were kind of taking advantage of it in the way of collecting many cards. They would say, oh, I forgot a card. And then we would be handing them another one. So clients were collecting all these cards. This went on for like probably well over a year or so with these loyalty cards. Then I was looking at our profit and loss and figuring out really what was benefiting in us and what was not. We didn't have it for our medical services, because 50% off Botox, I mean, everyone would be coming if that was the case, but it was biting us in the butt more than what it was worth having those loyalty programs. Once I kind of looked at the year end and what the profit and loss would have been comparable to these discount rates. And that was one of the things I had to bite the bullet, whether we were going to even have a loyalty program or we were going to do a discount. We are looking at some different softwares right now too that will possibly have some of these loyalty programs and discounts built in, as well as programs, testimonials, referrals, all the links. So I'm going to actually come back to this question, maybe do a full episode, maybe interviewing some of these different software companies, because I think it's really important to be able to do that. It's finding something that works for your business. These stamp cards were like a great one-off, and it helped getting clients in the door and getting people to come back. Even testing some of our facials that clients were a little hesitant on spending that much money. They got into doing facials and now they're addicted. So there was pros and cons with this experience, but it was definitely a business decision on my end where we were just not profiting at all. And also with staff rates, making sure we were paying our staff accordingly, as well as the overhead of expenses, as we all know, went up quite a bit after the pandemic, and trying to make those dollars go farther possibly if we could. But I'll come back to this question actually when we do some more loyalty and membership loyalty programs. We do have a membership program with our spray tan booth. The reason why I did it with our spray tan booth is because I actually technically don't have to pay someone to run it. I have our receptionist running it, but the great thing with it is it's a 3-minute service. They're in and out very quick with our spray tan booth, and clients, once they've been shown how to do it once, it's basically like they're in and out. And it's just easier to track that way with the spray tan versus having like set up for services, as well as if I needed a technician there as well. But that's something else we'll talk more about in the future. Next question. In what ways can businesses leverage social media platforms to engage their customers and foster loyalty? For example, our newsletter, I think we have over 4,000 people on our newsletter with the spa. It's been great because even our open house we have coming up in the next couple of days, it has really shown them that like we are on it, we are sending them information. It's a click. They just have to do one click and it brings them to that landing page in order to purchase the tickets, as well as showing customer loyalty. Like we absolutely love hosting parties, having other local business owners there, and just having events to really hone in on that female entrepreneur. We're in a really entrepreneur-based environment here in Muskoka, and just really having a good time, getting some mocktails going, having some food, having demos done, giveaways. They get to like do some shopping with our local vendors. And it really just helps showcase the community feel we have at Muskoka Aesthetics, as well as girl power. I feel like that's another thing that we really thrive on, is that female entrepreneur-based business, as well as just helping the community, and shopping local is another huge one. But I think it's a huge thing with social media is showcasing that collaboration with other businesses. And we're not just focused on ourselves. We're focused on bringing everyone together to have a great time, as well as our success is just as much as their success. And that's part of our following with even some of the businesses that we bring in their machines. Like we've got Sharplight now, Luma Farm, SMX, Continental Cosmetics, Skendor, DermaQuest. Like we have all these different companies that we are doing business with within our business. That's how our following has really blown up in the past probably year or so on Instagram, is we're tagging and collaborating with some of these larger businesses based out of Toronto and Vancouver. And it's actually benefited our business because now we're kind of like that demo showcase for a lot of these other distributor businesses, as well as our own product line of Muskoka Beauty. It's great to see that our product is actually being used and the services that have been coming out of our spa using our product line. But that's something else, is seeing how community-based you are, how driven you are, education too, showing that you do know what you're talking about. I just posted a video not that long ago of Kashar Nurse Injector actually talking about the difference between lip flips and lip filler. Same with Rebecca, we did a video about hard wax versus soft wax. Listen to your customers and some of the common questions they have. Then they're going to see that video on social media and be like, oh, wow, she actually listened to me when I had that question and actually took the time to make a video about that. If that one particular person actually has the question about it, obviously there's going to be another person thinking that same thing. So really important to listen to those customers and making sure that you're honing in on that experience online as well as in person, and that community within other entrepreneurs in your area. Are you thinking about starting a podcast? I remember when we launched Beauty Behind the Brand, it was just an idea at first and I didn't know where to start or what platform to use or how to streamline everything. Buzzsprout has made our lives so much easier, and I want to share some free info about it. Save $20 on your second invoice with Buzzsprout, and they will make your life so much easier. All you really need to do is upload, chat, and interview your guests, and Buzzsprout does the rest. Can you provide some insight into the importance of consistent communication and follow-ups with customers maintaining their loyalty? Kind of like what I said earlier, is actually doing follow-ups with your customers after they've come in for an appointment, whether that's a more medical service or even like a new facial, or even if it was one of their first spray tans, just checking in to see how their experience was. It shows that you're not just a number to them, even if it's just like a DM on social media if they had sent you a message previously. And then that's a great way, if they wrote you a really, really nice, detailed experience at your location and how the treatment went, how their skin feels after, you can even say to them, do you mind copy and pasting that exact answer and putting it onto our Google review? That would mean so much to us as a small business and helps us grow, as well as show other clients your experience that you had with us yesterday or today. And even sending them the link to that Google page as well. So it's literally copy, paste, send to Google, literally 4 clicks, and they've already sent you a Google review. That is something that I think is so important, is making sure you have that follow-up with your client, because that's going to make you a better business. We have solved some of the biggest problems in our business just from me sending or giving a client a call, asking them how their experience was. Whether it even was behind closed doors, maybe we've never had this at our location, but even if behind closed doors, one of your technicians isn't actually as professional as they're showing in front of you, or there's maybe someone's not doing something kosher to Health Canada, like double dipping wax sticks into the wax warmer, or clients maybe notice like your client or your technician wasn't wearing gloves during certain treatments. Just making sure that maybe some of those things might come up during these conversations, and being okay with it, not taking it to heart as, oh my gosh, my business is failing. Oh my gosh, there's all these negative things happening. Take it as positive criticism to make you a better business and a bit better business owner. Also, we've had it too where someone has called with a complaint and wanted to speak to a manager or an owner. I am 100% open to jumping on a call with that person and having an open mind. I feel like we think of our businesses as our babies, and we don't think they've ever done anything wrong. They're the best thing possible. But when things do happen, it's the best way to be positive and uplifting and try to solve this situation as fast as possible, as well as even if need be, giving them a refund if it was something that didn't go well for their experience, or honoring them to come back for a free experience with you, to showcase that is not something that would usually happen at our location. We've had it before too, where we've had wax pots, for example, that were not properly stored, and then we had done gel sets and everyone's nails had lifted and there was issues with them. But having those clients come back for us to fix them, I feel like is one of the best things. Yes, it's going to cost you money and time, but they're going to come back as that loyal customer because you listened to them and were able to get them back in and to fix the problem. And over time, that will actually benefit you in the long run. As well as word of mouth. Like, they're going to tell their friends that, oh, this happened at the salon, but they were able to get me back in to get that fixed. And just making sure that you're very open to your customers, saying, okay, what is the best way you would like us to go ahead to fix this for you? Are you able to come in for us to fix it in the next few days? And or would you like a refund? And or we can honor you a free XYZ facial when you come back in, or whatever, to make sure that you're able to get that client to come back in to get that sincere experience from your location. Another thing is being really quick to respond. That is one of our biggest feedbacks we get with customers, is actually calling people back, whether that's they leave a voicemail and or text message, or even calling, and DMs on social media, comments, reviews, that kind of thing. It's really important, and it makes them feel good that they've been heard and listened to. And making sure that you're taking notes during those voicemails too, to be able to follow up, not just like the name and number, making sure when they do leave you details that you're actually addressing those during the callback situation. Communication, that I feel like is one of the biggest things, is being consistent with it, like this question says, how important that is, as well as following up with your clients. And think about what you would want as that client being at that location, and how important that is for you to be heard and listened to, as well as that communication and response time. As technology continues to evolve, what new trends and strategies should businesses consider when it comes to building and maintaining customer loyalty? I kind of have a weird answer to this, because I feel like sometimes it's too tech involved. I almost feel like we need to, as society, not be using as much as like AI, those communications that are automated. Because I saw a post actually that Erin posted, one of our business mentors as well as coaches. She posted this great thing about having automatic responses when answering business pages, and just almost just waiting maybe even a few hours to respond to that person, instead of having an automated response. And how you as the person can even send a voice memo. I do a lot of voice memos. I just feel like sometimes I've spent so much time on my phone, I don't feel like being there to text and answer. And also the tone sometimes can be missed, and or it's just like that warmness of your voice and that customer service, that people can actually listen to you. And it's sometimes way easier to explain things than trying to text and explain. So those are sincerely voice memos I love on DM. Like I said, our emails. I really love sending a newsletter every month so clients know what's going on at the spa, because a lot of our aging demographic doesn't have social media. So it's great to have that. And I'm going to have a couple interviews / software demos with some of these other companies that are going to help us with some of our loyalty programs, things like that. So I'll touch base back on that point too, of having different softwares that actually automate a lot of these systems for us. But yeah, I think this episode is a great one for kind of that customer base, clientele, loyalty, making sure that you're keeping those clients you currently have, and how you're making their experience better. Even looking in your client, however you do your reporting, looking at some of those top clients that spend the most amount of money in your clinic each month, each quarter, each year, and actually giving them like, you know what, you've been one of our loyal clients since day one. We're so fortunate to have you, and you have been a great client of ours, and we want to be able to thank you, and we're going to offer you a discount on product, or giving them a service, maybe like once a year or something, as those maybe 10 VIP clients you have every year, giving them like a gift card that they can actually use as being one of your most loyal customers and clients coming in to spend money with you, and making sure that they're actually sincerely enjoying their experience, and maybe sit down with them saying, what are some of the things that we should do better in our location, or what are some of the key takeaways that you love about our business. Those VIP clients are going to tell their VIP clients, or their VIP friends are going to become clients of yours. So it's always good to just be real, authentic, make sure you know your niche, make sure you know what you're an expert in, and how you can take your team and your business to that next level when it comes to customer service. So I hope you like this episode. Give us a review. DM us if you have any episode requests or anything you would like us to do in our next solo, and or some guests you would like on Beauty Behind the Brand. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, everyone.